Good afternoon. You are listening to Heard It First on Radio Platform, and I am delighted to announce that I am also joined live on the show by Midnight Motion Picture. Hi guys, how are you doing today?
Good.
Very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. It's finally good to have you on the show after, I guess, a year now of playing your music as well.
Yeah, we really appreciate you playing our stuff, and thanks for having us.
And, well, we'll get into it later, but the new single is sounding brilliant as well. I guess before we get started, do you mind sort of introducing yourselves to our listeners as well? Who you are, where you're from, and also the individual members in the band as well.
Pretty face at the front.
Oh, I'm Jamie. I plonk about on the bass, and I do all the production for us as well. We actually record in here in the cabin at mine. Everything in the house. But yeah, I'm the little short fella you'll see running about on the bass or twisting the sound knobs. That's me.
I'm Harry and I play the drums. That's about it.
I'm Tom. I'm the vocalist of the band, and I play rhythm guitar too. So yeah, I'm the one that belts out.
I'm Sam. I play guitar and also the riff writer.
Yeah,
Riffinator.
I mean,
the riffinator.
Well, it's a pleasure to finally have you on the show. I guess I'll start off with you're a band from Southwest Wales and you all met in Pembrokeshire College as well, if I'm right in saying. Do you mind sort of telling our listeners about your experience of actually meeting and forming as a band?
I went to sixth form and I really regretted it, and I sort of pulled out and went to college instead. So obviously I did a year in sixth form. Jamie and Harry were in the year above me in college then, even though I'm the same age as Jamie. We met in school when I was 13. But me and Sam joined college at the same time. So me and Sam were in the first year, they were in the second year. And literally I just wanted to form a band, and I just saw Harry and I was like, he's just the best drummer here. I didn't care who he was at the time. I really didn't, but I was like, I just want to form the best band we can. And then, oh my God, we were just clicked like that. Such good friends. Like Harry, I found out he's an awesome guy. I didn't know anything about him. I just knew he was like a killer drummer. And he's an insane guy. He's a lovely boy as well. And we've been best mates. We're all best mates ever since. But then they left college, and then me and Blim and Sam were on our own. And but again, I didn't know Sam either, and I just thought he's the best guitarist in my year.
Oh, thanks.
Obviously, I knew more about him because he was in my year at the time, and started with him, and I knew he was a lovely boy, and we're all just lovely lads, really, and we're all best mates now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
7 years, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
And does that connection help you with, practicing as a band, performing as a band, and also the songwriting process?
No, it really
No.
says that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
One of the ways.
No.
Yeah.
We've ended up in rehearsals because we spent so much time just chatting and mucking about because we're such close mates that I've ended up having to be like the boring one in the group and just write out a schedule and say, look, if we've got any chatting, we do it afterwards. Obviously, it never works, but
Yeah.
it's the thought that counts. But it helps with on stage, definitely.
Yeah.
Everything's easy for on stage, but yeah, in the rehearsal room, in the studio, in the songwriting, we're just nattering. It's a nightmare.
Overall, though, it really, really does help. Honestly, it really does.
Overall, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the connection we get on stage, like some people form a band and they're like, oh, I'd love to be in a band, and let's just form a band and play some songs and and see where it goes. But no,
That's what we did, isn't it?
well, yeah, at the start. But some people that it really helps with the same age, and like we really get on. And some people are in bands with 25-year-olds, and one other person's 40 or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that we're all got a similar humor and we're all like really good friends. And yeah, that really does help. The sort of chemistry on stage is just unmatched with us boys. It really is. It's insane.
And from what I remember when I've played you on the show before and played the other singles, you're all about you started off doing covers in pubs, and then your song Behind the Bar was also a love letter to that as well. So can you tell me a bit more about performing in pubs and those sort of venues, and now going on to actually creating songs and performing in other live venues?
Let's take this one.
No, go on, Sam.
Oh.
Go on, you do it, boy.
Go on, boy.
Ah, you go for it.
No, I've spoke too much already, Sam. You go for it, boy.
Say it, Jamie, please.
Nah, so Sam knows the Eagle in Narberth very well. He did at the start when we first joined together as a band. So Sam, go on, mate. You tell him all about the Eagle and tell him all about Behind the Bar.
Where do I start really? So basically our first ever gig was at the Eagle, and the landlady just like fell in love with our band, and we kept just booking us back and back and back, and we just grew with the Eagle, and like we must have done about 45 gigs at the Eagle.
What?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
500. And then basically me and Tom then went to Weatherspoons one day, and we had that table, didn't we? That we
Yeah,
went to, and
Behind the bar table.
yeah, we basically, I think, yeah, Tom was like, I've got this sort of repetitive sort of melody in my head, like do 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 do, and then I had a riff that in my riff bag that yeah
That you pulled out.
that I pulled out, and it was worked together, and then I'm pretty sure we made the song at your dad's house, and then we brought it to you guys, and then he put the drums and the bass, yeah, drums and the bass in, and yeah, it was kind of our appreciation towards our era of like playing covers in pubs, and to the landlady that gave us our first opportunity playing
Becky.
in pubs, called Becky Ritchie. Shout out to Becky.
Big up, Becky.
Figure up, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are.
That's a really nice story, actually. You don't see too many bands actually go from pub culture to then actually forming and playing different venues, which is it's really nice to see. And obviously you're from, kind of southwest Wales, but you still have connections to the rest of Wales as well. I know for you, Jamie, as well, you're in other projects and bands.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you find, managing your time as a band, and, how often do you actually get to practice?
Well, for a start, I do suck at time management. So I just every single thing, even rehearsals, I write down in the calendar on my phone so that it'll link to my laptop. And that's how I juggle being in the other bands, is just living by that calendar completely.
Greenwich Dean Time.
Greenwich Dean Time, they call me, because I'm always late. But yeah, in terms of, we don't actually rehearse that often. There was a time when we were rehearsing like every week because we were playing all the time. But now we just sort of rehearse when there's a gig, and we're trying to prioritize songwriting now a bit more, aren't we?
100%, yeah.
So yeah, we're not the best band at managing our time in general. But we're improving on it, which is good, and it helps.
Harry, you've got a full-time job as well, like proper. He's on call all the time and stuff, aren't you? So
Yeah,
Yeah, just trying. Yeah, we've all got pretty hectic lives, I guess.
Mhm.
yeah.
Just trying to find a slot where we can actually all get together is a bit of a nightmare sometimes, but yeah,
Mm.
at least once a month, isn't it?
Yeah, at least.
Trying to do a lot more.
yeah.
It's picked up now, though, isn't it? Got like
Yeah,
the
well,
most
that's-
festival gigs we've had ever.
We've got a lot of gigs
Yeah.
coming up, yeah.
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
got a lot of recording we need to do as well. Get some
Yeah.
more songs out there.
I guess, well, now that you've mentioned gigs, do you actually mind telling our listeners, or do you want to promote any gigs coming up as well?
So we've got Unearth Festival coming up. That's on the 20th of
20th of
July
June. Yeah.
of June, yeah,
Of
sorry.
June.
Yeah. And we've got a huge one coming up, which is like we're playing the biggest venue in our county, which is mad. It's called the Queen's Hall in Narberth. Like what? Like we've always said, like, oh, can you imagine if we played the Queen's Hall? Like, do you know what I mean? And like here we are now, and it's just insane. Like I think that's a massive achievement for us boys. It's huge. It's
Dead
massive.
chuffed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
that's coming up on the 20th of September, and you can get links off their website for tickets and all. They're only like a tenner. There's 2 other bands playing as well. So
I put the link in our bio last night.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you're getting to play, local venues as well that you've loved for ages. I also wanted to ask about your new single, Kevin the President. It came out recently. It's kind of the heaviest song you've released to date, I think. and it taps into those punk influences as well. Do you mind telling me a bit more about the song and where the influences for that song came from?
So I had quite a rough upbringing with musical sort of career to start with in my musical career life. I was 16 when I was just sort of thrown into the sort of how do I say it, tumbleweed blimmin' gig life. Really, it was an agency that really didn't care about anyone, and they'd just chuck you in any dive, and that dive would want you to sing sort of Sweet Caroline and Summer of '69 and Valerie, all the songs that you're bound to hear wherever you go in the world. Do you know what I mean? And I wasn't about that, and I was getting really fed up. And like, and then I formed a band then when I went to college, and they're like, oh, this band is hindering your progress and stuff, as you need to sing more Michael Bublé and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like, oh, come on. And I ended up quitting then, but through that time it was always like I literally had someone like, oh, I know a mate that knows a mate who knows Simon Cowell, and he can get you on Simon Cowell's like sort of list. And I was like, stop it, man. Do you know what I mean? And he's there drinking Worthingtons at the bar. He's 75 years old. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, get me this pint. And I'm just like, yeah. So a lot of influence was taken from them experiences. And my dad's best mate he's a punk artist, and he's the guy who features on the track. He is Kevin, the president. But almost to me, Kevin is that sort of age that people will be singing them sorts of songs to, and it's lovely, just like the deflection from him. That's like, nah, we are expecting way more than that. Do you know what I mean?
I think lyrically that comes through really, really well on this song. And then the riffs and all the music just comes really, comes well together. And I guess you've got the benefit of a producer and a studio as well, which,
Yeah,
100%. Obviously really helps to create these songs. And it's your third release today, first one being Old Rosie, and then Behind the Bar, and now Kevin the President this year. So are there any more plans to release more songs this year, and then also potentially plans to release an EP or longer album?
What do you reckon, Harry?
That is pretty much bang on, really. We're hopefully release 2 or 3 more songs this year, maybe more realistically 2 more.
Yeah.
And what does that bring us up to? 6? Yeah,
something like that.
4, 5.
5. Yeah.
None of us can count.
Yeah. enough. Yeah. When we've got enough, then, as you say, yeah, hopefully we'll bring out an EP, put them all together, and then maybe put like a one of our favorite covers in the mix with that EP.
Yeah.
This is a little bonus track sort of thing.
Do limited CDs. Well, no, loads of CDs and limited run the final. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of merch out now as well, coming up for definitely the Queen's Hall gig. There'll be tons of merch then for the Queen's Hall gig. So yeah, get some more physical things coming out. It'd be cool. That's how we can make our money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other money in it, so
Yeah, I was going to ask around that as well. How do you sort of manage being an independent artist? Because my show is all about supporting independent artists and championing, upcoming bands. Do you eventually want to take this to be a full-time job? And how do you actually manage your time as a band?
I think who doesn't want to do that? If people are on your list, I'm sure they're all wanting to go for it. Do you know what I mean? If they're not, their hearts aren't in it. But yeah, we're totally wanting to do that. Aren't we, Sam?
Yeah, very driven.
Yeah, we're so ambitious. We want to. Sky's the limit for us, boys, and we want to really, really hit the nail on the head. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the quest to just get out of our town now and just like Wales and beyond, aren't we?
Yeah, I think the way we stay afloat as well as an independent artist, collectively, is a mix of things. Like, for example, recording and producing in house, because it would just cost loads and loads and loads otherwise. The only thing, what's it called when you don't do it in house? External. The only thing we do externally is mastering, and we use Ben at Rare Total Mastering based in Leeds. He's brilliant. I actually use him to master the Statues of Men stuff as well. So he masters both of these bands. But everything else is all internal, which saves a load of money. Gig wise, we do a lot in Pembrokeshire. And when we travel further away, we don't just take a random gig really far away and then make a massive loss and then do the same thing next week and then keep doing that. We sort of time our gigs well, don't we? And we try and bunch them together, because you really got to be efficient with it as an independent artist. And another, another massive help is people like you, Gareth, who give the spotlight to people like us because it means a lot and it helps massively. So it's a mixture of those things, really. And then adding to that will be merch that can go towards our pot, that will go towards fuel and that for further field gigs.
Yeah.
For that, but
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's always a struggle for so many bands and artists, but it's good that you're so passionate about what you do, and keep on the good work as well, because the music's sounding great, and it's really good to hear all of these tracks come to fruition as well. I guess, would you mind telling me a bit more about like some of the bands you've listened to, and if any bands have influenced or inspired your music?
yeah, I reckon.
Yeah. So, where do I start? I'm trying to think. So I'm massively, in terms of like songwriting, I'm massively influenced by I don't know his second name actually. I'm such a big Pixies fan. Joey from the Pixies. His melodic guitar parts that he writes that like harmonize lovely over the rhythm guitar. I've always been massively influenced by that. And you could probably, I've given the secret away now. You could probably listen to our releases and hear a few, especially in Behind the Bar. I do that, especially a little bit in Old Rosie. But yeah, Pixies has always been a massive influence on me and with like songwriting. And some of the things I write, I don't really know where it comes from. It's like I feel like I've learned all sorts of different types of music. It's all just blurred.
Same with me, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a massive pot of artists. I just give it a stir, and that's what comes out.
In terms of, I always ask this to any band that I interview. In terms of like dream venues or where you want to be in the next 5 years, where would that be? Like, what is your dream gig venue, and where would you want to be in the next 5 years?
Making money from our music's good enough for me. Do you know what I mean? It's like if we
like a full-time job doing
if
this.
we bought in, like I'd be happy if we bought in £500 a month from our music. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
stuff streams. That would be insane. Do you know what I mean? Like if we all had £500 a month each. Do you know what I mean? That would be insane. Do you know what I mean? But obviously we'd still have our day jobs and stuff. But yeah, and in terms of venues, like literally anywhere, just hit us up and we'll play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boomtown's always been a big one for us that we've wanted to do.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Obviously
Circuit.
Glastonbury as well. That'd be brilliant. But yeah, literally, if it's a music venue, we'll go there if the price is right. Yeah.
I guess, well, yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I have for you today. But thank you so much for joining me on the show, and hopefully catch up with you soon.
No, thank you
cheers.
guys.
Thanks for having us,
Thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.